Hi, my name is Angie Brown, and I'd first like to say thank you to each and every one of you who stood up with me for accountability with the ICSD school district. I would like to start by reading an open letter, and then I will fill you in on what has been happening and where things are going. The ICSD continues to shift blame away from themselves, and there is zero accountability. This is disgraceful. Recently, I received a decision from the New York State Department of Education, and it did state that, I quote, "I acknowledge, as petitioner asserts, that respondent board's characterization of her complaints as being, quote unquote, relating to ongoing family dispute improperly minimizes the nature and extent of her allegations." Dr. Sean Eversley Bradwell stated in his sworn affidavit, and I quote, "The allegations that Dr. Brown abused any child, if true, would impact Dr. Brown's fitness as an educational leader," end quote. The fact that Luvelle physically abused our son, and I have the video, I have the doctor's report that prove that this in fact did happen. The State Department further claims that the fact that Luvelle Brown lived with his girlfriend, Miss Erica Cooper, and he still does, who at the time was his secretary for the ICSD district, is not a conflict of interest because the ICSD had no policy in place. Impropriety should be recognized irrespective of policy. It is also curious that Luvelle wrote in his sworn statement that he never met or spoke with Miss Erica Cooper until she interviewed for the position at the Ithaca City School District. Yet, Miss Erica Cooper gives an extensive details in her 2016 affidavit about her romantic relationship with Luvelle while employed as the paralegal for our attorneys, our law guardian. She was our law guardian's paralegal. The law guardian is the lawyer for children when you're going through a divorce. Everybody gets an attorney. Children get an attorney. Mom and dad get an attorney. So while this affair was happening, Erica was the law guardian. I'm sorry, she was a paralegal at the law guardian's office. Excuse me for saying that not correctly. I will post the entire 2016 affidavit of Miss Erica Cooper. Her entire affidavit will be found at ICSD accountability files. I will also post the entire response from the New York State Department of Education, again, ICSD accountability files. And I will also post my entire reply brief to the ICSD affidavits. That entire document will also be posted there as well. It is unfortunate that while all this happened because of a time issue, I was working with several pro bono law offices, and the New York State Department did not take in my entire reply brief. The whole thing, this entire brief breaks down everything, the entire narrative that the Ithaca City School District was able to push. It breaks that entire thing down, and it was not entered into the record. So I am now looking into that because I know everything was sent off. Things were emailed, things were time-stamped and documented and mailed via FedEx. Regardless, I feel like you, the community of Ithaca, the school district community, you should see exactly what was written, how it was written, what was said, everything. I want to be completely open and transparent, and so I want to make sure everything is posted for you all to see and to read. And last but not least, the New York State Department also said that the issue with the Google Classroom is resolved. It's resolved because it was put up, but it was also taken down. Because it was taken down in a timely manner, they see that as being resolved. I just kind of have to laugh because at one time before we left Charlottesville, Virginia, there were several articles written calling Luvelle Brown the tech savvy super, end quote. You can look up articles and that will come up. And I just really find it interesting. Those of you who have been following this case at great length, you'll see at one point in time, Luvelle stated on the record in a meeting that's recorded, one of the many meetings, that he set up the Google Classroom first because he wanted to see how it worked, and he encouraged other teachers to also do the same. If he's so tech savvy, how is it that he doesn't understand how something so simple as Google Classroom works? And then he turns around and says that he wanted to set up the Google Classroom because our daughter was asking, how does Google Classroom work? So he showed her how it worked and set up the Google Classroom. I have no response. Yeah, so I guess in a nutshell, there's still zero accountability. There's just, Rob Ainsley, he is throwing papers at a community member, a mother, while she is following protocol for this judicial process and serving the papers. And some of you have called him out on it during the board meetings when we're still doing things not in person. I never saw where he ever humbled himself to even say, I apologize, or I handled that wrong. I can't even imagine in a school if anyone, a child of any age, acted out that way to another person in the school, that would not have gone with some sort of consequence. So again, where's the accountability? Where's the accountability for the board? What is going on here? All I could do is encourage each and every one of you to continue to stand up, to continue to press for accountability, to continue to have a voice, for your children while we're all in this district. I still have no answers as to why in the world Sean Eversley Bradwell released my full, court custody papers. I still don't understand why Lily Talcott felt that it was necessary to print off not only pictures of my children, but every single email from the time my children were in kindergarten until they left the school, and then allow anybody in the community to have access to these documents without even a proper FOIL request. There is zero accountability. And it really grieves my heart as a parent that the very institution set to protect and help children is the very institution that is using them in the crossfires and coming against them when a parent is on a quest for accountability and justice. They will truly stop at nothing. And that's really, really, really sad. As for me, since all this has happened, I have been swamped with several appearances in court because Luvelle and I are in child support court. The change in circumstance happened when I was awarded custody of the children, and Luvelle has now just limited visitation with the children. So they are with me full time. And with that, I was looking for an increase in child support, and Luvelle has fought tooth and nail to give any sort of child support increase. He's not paying for the tutoring that's taking place now. He's not paying for any of the educational things that are going on now. So we have now gone through two judges. We've had a judge in Ithaca recuse. The last appearance we had in court was July 9th. Luvelle subpoenaed Lily Talcott to testify on his behalf in our personal child support case. He also subpoenaed Karen Arnold to testify on behalf of him in our private child support case. Karen Arnold took the stand, and while she was on the stand, right before my very eyes, she immediately started telling truth because she was under oath, and the things that she was saying were directly in contradiction, again, to the sworn affidavit that was produced by the Ithaca City School District for everyone to have in their hands. The sworn affidavit I'm referring to is the one that she produced for the New York State Department of Education case. So during the child support case, she had a very different recollection of things that happened and the things that she was aware of. It finally came down to one point in time where Karen started to tell her narrative of what she said was happening, again under oath. And when my attorney challenged her on it and let her know that we have a recorded, documented phone conversation of what exactly happened, all bets were off. The entire case came to a standstill. We wanted to play the recording because Karen Arnold had already given a false account of what happened. And at that point, the judge called for a recess. We were then invited back in. Karen Arnold was not invited back in. Billy Talcott was no longer there to be invited back in. And the case was over, it was done, and the judge again recused herself. So now we're starting right back at, it looks like ground zero, with trying to find a third judge to now hear our child support case that this has been going on for over a year. The first judge in Ithaca recused himself because we waited 20 minutes and Luvelle and his attorney never even showed up to court. Then the back and forth happened. We were not allowed to put on evidence. Anyway, that's what happened with the first judge being recused. So here we are still waiting to find out what's going to happen with our child support case. So with that, I wanted to just update you. Again, I wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you who have been standing with me for accountability and transparency.